Good evening, everyone. This is Deb LeBeau. I'm the chair of the Shrewsbury Public Library Board of Library Trustees. As a preliminary matter, please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Priya?
Yes.
Deb LeBeau, yes. Anne Marie Bird?
Yes.
Purnima?
Yes.
Claire O'Connor?
Yes.
Jeff Billingham?
Yes.
April Prince Jones?
Yes.
Nancy Gilbert?
Yes.
Okay. This is an open meeting of the Shrewsbury Board of Library Trustees. It's being conducted remotely, consistent with Senate Bill 2475, signed into law by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Laws, Chapter 30A, Paragraph 18. This meeting of the Board of Library Trustees will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, the Board of Trustees is convening by Zoom as posted on the town's website, www.shrewsburyma.gov, identifying how the public may join. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting tonight will be conducted by roll call vote. Okay, so moving on to the agenda. First item is to review and act to approve the minutes from our last meeting, which was December 21st. I can't.
Want to unmute yourself, Nancy?
Yeah.
I'll move to approve if nobody has yet, or
Okay.
Second, Nancy
I
Gilbert.
moved it when I was muted, so.
All right, Claire O'Connor moved the question. All those in favor? Me, yes. Anne Marie?
Yes.
Purnima?
Yes.
Claire?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Okay, so the minutes were approved. Next is to review and act to approve the report of the director's activities of December 2021. We were busy.
Yes. So we were busy.
I just have one point of curiosity myself,
Mhm.
which is the town strategic planning meeting. Priya, I just wanted to I'm just curious to what goes on at the town strategic planning meeting.
Oh, they are, they've just started the strategic plan for the next, I think 5 years, 2030, 2025 to 2030, I think. And all the department heads participated in the first meeting. They had a consultant and we just, had a brainstorming session. So it was at the library, live meeting, yes, in-person meeting. And then they had a session with representatives from the various boards. So Nancy Gilbert was representing our trustee board in that meeting.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Thanks.
Priya, what is the book on the story walk now? Oh, that's okay. I was just curious. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I didn't put you on the spot.
Don't remember it off the top of my head.
Well, so it's a wonderful place to go, no matter what the book is.
Yes. Oh, did you visit that?
No, I visited previous, but I haven't been to this latest one.
Yeah.
All right, any other comments or questions?
was wondering about the calendar you have for all these progress on goals meetings and stuff you meet every month. Are they
Every
short
month.
meetings? I know the town has kind of a structure they want you to follow.
Yeah, they are short meetings and informal meetings too, just, it's just for both of us, me as the director and the managers to just go over what's happening, if they're having any problems or, or if they're able to meet their goals. And I also ask them about their teams. So it's just getting updated.
It looked like a lot of meetings.
It does, but we try to keep it short.
Anybody
Oh,
want to move?
I'll move approval.
Okay, Claire, move the approval of the director's activities for the month of 2021. So I'm going to take a roll call vote. Myself, yes. Anne Marie,
Yes.
Purnima,
Yes.
Claire,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Nancy.
Yes.
Okay, that was yes. Where is my agenda? The next item, I think my agenda blew away. Oh, here it is to review the programs and services that were offered in December 2021, yeah.
Yeah, December was a good month because we had a lot of in-person programs. Book club met in person, one of the memory cafes, and weekly English conversation circle sessions. The holiday music program and a few others were at the library and well attended too.
Priya, I was just curious as to, I know this in December, 113 new patrons signed up for library cards. Do you keep count of how many are residents of Shrewsbury versus how many are not residents?
I think we do. I can get the numbers next time. I think we do keep an account of that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
If I'll follow up on that, then I found I can use my library card from Shrewsbury at other libraries in CW Mars. And do we see people coming from outside CW Mars, or they're from inside CW Mars and they just want a card?
Most of them are from CW Mars libraries, but occasionally we will have people from other parts of Massachusetts also come.
Oh, okay.
If they want to just use a study room or something, that is fine. Only if they want to borrow items, then they need a CW Mars card.
Okay. And I had another question. I noticed we lent out 2,000 materials to other libraries. Are we still getting far more from other libraries than we're lending out to them?
Yes.
It used to be like 2 to 1, as I recall, something like that.
It is exactly like that. Yes, it's double the number that we lend to other libraries, and it's half.
Okay.
That
we're continuing
yes.
that way. Yeah.
Yes.
Priya, do you think that's pretty typical of libraries in the CW Mars system, that it's 2 to 1?
I can't say that for certain if that is the ratio in other libraries. For us, that's been the pattern for many years.
Mm.
Yeah. We borrow, I don't know if I said it correctly, we borrow double and loan out fewer items.
Right.
Yeah, half.
We always use that point when we present our budget.
Yes, we have a community of readers who borrow. Yes.
I feel like I'm responsible for a lot of those library loans. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. Why would you apologize for that?
It's a great service because you can
Right.
find what you want from
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah. Right.
Right.
I actually
And
find I
they're
have to
fast
train.
too.
Yeah. I have to train myself to actually see if it's a Shrewsbury, and if it is, try to find it on the shelf first.
Girl.
Yeah, because it's such an easy thing to do, from your home computer.
Right.
Really is.
Yeah.
Priya, do you think that COVID has had any effect on the number of discount passes over Christmas break?
Definitely, yes. And the museums also keep changing their, their criteria for admitting people. So some of the museums in the Boston area have now started requiring vaccination, proof of vaccination status. So we have to communicate that to our patrons who borrow those passes. So, the museums have been hit as badly as libraries. So they have been changing their regulations. I mean, they were closed for many months in 2020. And then they started opening with lots of limitations and were not giving discounted passes. And then it seemed like, just like the library, the latter part of 2021 was pretty good. And now they've started asking for proof of vaccination status.
Rhea, how have things been going with the recent surge and trying to limit patrons' visits to, browsing 30 minutes? Is that going okay?
It is going okay. A few patrons are not happy that they cannot spend more time, using the computers and or using the study rooms, because we are not allowing that. And as far as staff is concerned, working with half the staff in the building is also pretty, it is a little difficult, challenging to have coverage at all the desks, the reference desk, the main desk, and the children's desk at all times. During a lunch hour, there might be just one person covering the desk. And I'm also now covering desks. So we are managing, but there's not much time to do a whole lot of other projects.
Yeah.
Of course, the
How
week
will
that
we
we work
know?
from home, if it is a project that you can take home, then staff will work on that. But it is definitely affecting the services. Yeah.
If the building's not crowded and there's not a lot of people at the door, are you able to be flexible with someone who's in the middle of a project, let's say at a computer? Can I have 15 minutes more or something?
The computers, we have set it up so it will log you off in 30 minutes. If they make a special request, we can add give them some additional time.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they have to print something and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's just nice to be as flexible as you can be when you can be, if you can.
When we can be.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
What's
I
the
wanted to
criteria
mention-
for going back? Like extending hours or not splitting the staff? Like, how do we know when that feels safe?
I think the town will base it on the number of positive cases.
Okay.
Initially, when they had communicated to us about, working in this hybrid fashion, and they have allow people in the town hall by appointment, they had said it would be through the week of January 24th, which is this week. But last week they sent out another email saying that we will continue to work like this until further notice, because the positivity rate is still over 20%. So they are definitely going by the numbers. I am going to see if, if we go for a week or more with no staff having any issues, having to stay at home because of some friend or family member being sick or through some contact or something like that. And then I'm going to request Kevin again to see if we could go back to all staff working in the building.
I think the way we have to interpret positivity is changing, because there's so much more, because number one, there's much more availability, and we're just testing everybody, you know, and part of it is the schools are doing a whole lot of testing, and that kind of has ramifications for the rest of us. You know, I think the thought is that the high positivity isn't as severe as it would have been 6 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, when we were just kind of scraping the iceberg of the people out here there with the virus.
Right. But also at-home tests are not always reported. So they are, I think, receiving the numbers only of PCR tests.
Yeah, yeah.
That's also a factor to consider.
But there's so many mandated tests now. And some people are getting tested very frequently.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other comments or questions?
Deb, I just wanted to mention that I'm also working on the annual town report to be
Oh, good.
submitted to the town. As you know, that's done every year, and I have each of the managers submit a report about their departments, and then I compile the whole thing. And I've just finished the first draft. Somebody will proofread it, and I can share it with all of you. I think last year, Claire, you said you wanted to see it before I submitted it.
Well, it's always been traditional. Ellen always shared this with us before
Okay.
she sent it off to the final form. And I don't know what the deadlines you have to make are.
Yeah.
When do you have to have the final draft in?
February 1st, which is next
Oh,
week.
soon. That's around the
Oh,
corner.
Right around the
Yeah.
corner. Oh, my goodness.
Maybe you should send it out now.
I will. Amanda is a proofreader, editor in our among our staff, so she's going to proofread it and share it with me, and then I'll take a look at it and I'll send it maybe as early as tomorrow.
Okay,
That would
that'd
be
be
great.
good.
for
Share
you.
it with all of
That would be
you.
great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to financial and legislative. Review and act upon the year-to-date report.
Yeah, we are on target with the spending.
Yeah, right.
This is not pertinent to this report, but it is a question related to finances. I was going over the warrant today, one of the warrants that was sent to us, and there was an item for about $5,000+ regarding genealogy subscriptions. Is that, what is that for?
Oh, it's a database. This
Database.
is in ancestry.com, or we have another one called ProQuest.
Uh-huh.
And we are expanding, but I think it is ProQuest that you might have received recently.
Okay. And is that's an annual subscription?
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Is that why the dues and membership line item is over 100? It's at 163%
Oh, that,
of the budget on page 2.
yes, that can be adjusted with the next line item that says other not classified.
Mhm.
So it will be
So it just,
adjusted later. This was the cost of the leadership training program that Sanya is attending. So that was $1,800. And what else? I think an additional amount was for the reimbursement to the friends from the town. I don't think you've received that check yet, Jeff, but that is being processed.
Mhm,
So
okay.
we're just taking it out of that. It will be adjusted with the next line item, other not classified, which has $2,500. So
Can any portion of the unused be rolled over to next year?
only some items, line items, we can roll over to next year. Materials, you can, library materials, but everything else, supplies and dues and membership and print, postage, stationery, you have to spend it by the end of the fiscal year. Otherwise, it will go to the town reserve fund. Is that right, Claire? Is that what it's called?
It's called the general fund.
General fund.
Yeah.
I have just a question on office supplies, which
Yes.
was increased by $2,100 beyond the original appropriation.
Yeah. I don't know what that was, an adjustment. Was it from the previous year? I know it's not carried forward. I'll check and let you know at the
Okay.
next meeting, or I'll send an email about that.
And what's the difference between office supplies and library supplies?
Office supplies is generally paper and stationery items and
Okay.
stuff like that. Library supplies is the stuff that is used for cataloging and processing.
Right,
Um,
okay.
Yeah, RFID pads and, all those kind of things. Yeah, but I'm not sure what these transfer amounts are.
Can I just have a clarification, Priya, of the reimbursement from the town to the Friends of 2,500? What was that for? Or was it?
It's not the whole 2,500. I don't remember the exact amount, but it is part of this dues and memberships. That is the Friends pay for some of the things that have to be paid by debit card. That as the library, we don't have any debit card. So it's generally the Friends debit card that we use for monthly payment for MailChimp, which is our listserv, the tool that is used for our listserv, and a couple other things.
Okay,
That the
thank
Friends,
you.
and then it's reimbursed from the town.
So
Right,
this is
okay.
because the library is not allowed to have a credit card, is that right?
Yeah, we don't have a
Okay.
credit or a debit card, yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Those libraries are not trustworthy.
Is some of it used too for ebooks or some digital materials, or is it? I thought there was some discussion of that in the past. No? Okay.
No,
I
not.
think it used to be,
Yeah.
It
I
might
think it
have
used to
been
be, but much
before.
Yeah.
less now,
Yeah.
if at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That figure I don't have in front of me, but it was a lot closer to
1,000.
1,300 than 2,500. Huh? Yeah,
yes. It was 1,300, right?
right around there.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about the year-to-date report? If not, could somebody move the
I move to approve the year-to-date report.
I haven't been asking for seconds, but I should. Could somebody second?
Second, April.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor of accepting the financial year-to-date report, please say yes. I will do a roll call. B, Debbie, yes. Anne Marie,
Yes,
Purnima,
Yes,
Claire,
Yes,
Jeff,
Yes,
April,
Yes.
Nancy.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the meeting with Kevin, the town manager, Kevin Mizagar.
Yes, so Deb and I had a meeting with the town manager on January 10th. And we presented our budget proposal, our first budget proposal, which had been approved by the board. And we had a very good meeting. He seemed very positive about approving even the enhanced budget request that we had in the fiscal projection 1 itself. That's what he said. Is that what you think, Deb, about the meeting?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think he was, pleased that we weren't really asking for more, but that we were very thoughtful about what we were asking for in terms of increased page hours and the team support on those Fridays. And I think he certainly understood the reasons for that.
Right. Yeah. And one thing that I asked him, which I hadn't included, which I hadn't spelled out in the budget, was if the salaries of the pages could be raised to $15 an hour. We've been talking about that for a few years, but it's still not $15. And he asked me to send him the cost estimate of that. So I did follow up, and hopefully he will take that into consideration. Yeah. I also asked him about equity pay increase for non-benefited employees, because last year there was an equity pay increase for full-time and part-time benefited employees, but the non-benefited employees were not part of that discussion. And he said he would consider that too this year.
I wonder if he has to do that townwide, if he decides to do that.
Yeah, page wages are, pages are unique to the library. So I think if he approves that, then that can go forward. The non-benefited employees, yes, they would have to consider townwide.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I felt strongly that, some of our staff have been working so hard and they're so reliable, the Saturday staff, and there are 2 people who work every Saturday. They've been doing it for 5 years or over 5 years. It's so important that they be recognized for their, reliability more than anything else. And of course, they're competent, efficient workers too.
Right. And most of the patrons don't know the difference between salaried and non-benefited staff. They all kind of are very helpful to everybody. So certainly I think they should be appreciated.
Exactly.
Could you remind us, Priya, what the next step is in the budget process?
Kevin will send us the fiscal projection 1. And then we will have the FinCom meeting in March. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Do we have a
Deb's
date
question
yet for
maybe.
that budget hearing?
Pardon?
Do we have a date for the budget hearing yet?
Let me see. There are 2 dates given in March. Just give me a second. March 24th, Thursday, and March 26th, Saturday. So I don't know which one would include the library's presentation.
Say that
That seems
again.
late.
March 24th and March 26th.
That's a
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday evening.
Thursday and Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
Did they used to be in February? I feel like it's late.
They did. And I think that when Kevin came in, he decided to change the calendar because in
Okay.
February, they really have no idea what they're getting from the state yet. And it was always kind of a moving target trying to guess, when this branch of the legislature met and when this one did. And so I think he
Right.
decided to wait until things kind of calmed down a little bit. But in the past, you're
Okay.
right, they always were in February. 2
Okay. I
Saturdays
thought it
in
was
February.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I am surprised it's Thursday because the Finance Committee might not be available on a Thursday.
Last year too, it was on a Thursday night.
Oh, on the night. Oh, in the evening. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not all day. We used to do 2
No, no, no.
Saturdays all day long. Yeah.
No,
okay.
it was in the evening and we were the last to go last year. Remember, it was at 8 o'clock or something.
Okay, any other comments about the budget?
I had a quick question about how the reduced hours at the library have affected people, like hourly employees. Like you had mentioned that some people are taking out projects home and things like that. Like, is that rough for people who like normally work a certain number of hours, but now we're not open as many hours?
Only the pages, their hours would be reduced a little bit, but the staff who work 19 hours, right, part-time. So they work more hours during the week when they are in the library and fewer hours when they are working from home. So we've been able to adjust it that way to help us with, manning the building during when patrons are there, and they have fewer projects that they can take home. But everyone is very good about taking something home. We've distributed duties, for most people now. And we had done this last year too. So it's working out.
It's working pretty
Only the
well.
pages don't get as many hours as they used to before, because 1 week they can't do anything from home. We have tried to give them more hours during their work week in the library.
Thank you.
So how many hours now that you're, splitting home and on site, how many hours per day is each staff member, well, not each, but typically working in the library? Is it more than an 8-hour day?
No, it's still the same. A full-time person works 37.5 hours when they are in the library, and they work 37.5 hours at home when they're working from home. For full, we haven't changed anything.
I understand that, but when they're working in the library, so they still just work the 8 hours?
Yes, 7.5 hours, yes.
I see. Okay. Okay. All right, any other thoughts, questions? No?
Is it
Okay.
is it too early to know anything about state aid for 2022?
State aid, we've gotten about, we got the first half of it, but they've said that they would, the total amount would be around $65,000.
Good. Thank you.
And this is for 2021, Priya, the state aid for 2022.
They follow the calendar year. I'm not sure
Okay.
or the fiscal year, but we're getting the same amount.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So moving on then to facility, equipment, and grounds. Anything to report?
Nothing new.
How about with gifts and grants?
Nothing to report there either.
Okay. Personnel?
Personnel, we've posted the positions of the digital services librarian and technology specialist and received quite a few applications. We are doing the interviews this week, scheduled for tomorrow, day after, and Friday. So hopefully we'll be successful in getting a good candidate.
I was wondering, given the demand for digital people right now and the IT people, how competitive the situation was right now. When I looked at that job that the digital librarian was doing, I said, "Oh my goodness, this person really has to have a huge skill set." And yet we're finding people you think are, ready to do all of that for what we're willing to pay.
We have gotten a few good applications. Let's see when we interview them. If they have the experience and stuff. Yeah, it is quite a demanding job. There's a lot of skills that we expect from them. Yeah.
To me, it looked like they were not just a librarian, they also were a computer expert, with having to deploy these computers. And I know you've had some issues with getting them deployed this year. So I wondered where, when I was at BC, we used to hire out, even though we had a huge IT department, we'd hire out for people to come in and deploy the computers. It's almost like a different skill set.
Exactly. Even the town, they have Selco and the town IT department, and yet they outsource a lot of tech jobs.
Yeah.
So, and we expect one librarian to be able to do all of that.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yes. Yeah, the next set of computers that we purchase at this year, fiscal year 22, actually, we are going to get it imaged by the, when we purchase them itself, the imaging is going to be part of, we just pay a little more and get that done. So that deploying itself is a lot of work, So getting all the software and all that. We're going to make sure we get them all ready when we purchase them.
Yeah, the imaging is key.
Yes, exactly. That's what has held us back this year.
Well, good luck with
Yeah,
the
how many
interview.
people? Yeah, how many people are you interviewing in this first round? I know it's two
We are
jobs.
interviewing 4 people this week. Yeah, and the interviews will be on Zoom.
Okay, all right. Next on the agenda is the Shrewsbury Public Library Foundation.
So we have one member who has resigned from the board, and we would like to bring in at least one new member. And we were going to look at the letters of interest that we had received last year. And maybe we will also post the position again this year, which will be from the Board of Trustees, from all of you. So Nancy, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I think we had our meeting today, and I think the consensus was that that we contact the 3 applicants from our previous posting and ask them if they wanted to be considered again for the position. And there were a couple of recommendations of possible board members that we wanted to reach out to as well. And so I don't know procedurally where we go from there. If the foundation board would offer our recommendations to this board and and seek approval that way. So if you have any further guidance on that, I assume that we could reach out to those who had applied in the past to see if they're still interested.
I think we might have to post if we're reaching out to anybody new.
Yeah, well, yes, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Who's
I think
resigning?
it would be nice to post it.
Dale
so that-
McGee resigned from the board.
Oh, too bad. He's resigned from the
Bummer.
school committee as well.
Has a,
Oh, no, I didn't see that. Oh.
Yeah. He's done a lot
Mm.
for the town.
He sure has. I think he probably feels like he deserves a break, and he does.
I hope he's not going away.
I know.
No.
I know.
think so. So should we post the position again? Is that the consensus?
I mean, I think from an accessibility standpoint, it's a nice thing to be able to do, just in case, like sometimes I feel like if somebody wasn't, they're interested, but maybe last year craziness wasn't the time to do it. I don't know how labor intensive it was to do it, and then, see what we get and go
Sure.
from there.
Look at
The people
description.
last year were so qualified. It must have
Yes.
been a hard choice of who to recommend to this board
Yeah.
because the applications were
Yes.
really strong.
Right, yeah. So I'll look at the position description and see if any changes need to be made, or we can just post that, but with the change of dates. Yeah, it's not labor intensive, I can do that.
No, I think it's good to, to post it, and because there may be somebody very qualified that's very interested in doing it. So that seems to me the logical procedure.
Okay,
So Nancy, is the plan then to both post and also query the 3 people who submitted simultaneously, or?
Well, essentially ask them if they still want to, remain under consideration.
Mhm.
And if so, then they would just be included in the, in the
Okay.
group to choose.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
oh, and also we, Nancy and Mike Hale were instrumental in this. We sent out a letter of appeal at the end of the year. to prospective donors, and we received $6,500 in donations.
Great.
Donation.
Yes. And Priya was very, very instrumental as well. She did a lot of behind the scenes stuff with us. So we appreciate that, Priya.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, next is Friends of the Library. Any news from the Friends?
We have had 2 new members join the board this year for 2022, and they will be the program chair and the publicity chair. Do you want me to tell their names? Do you want that included?
Sure.
It's Yashodhara Savla, and I think Anne Marie is also on the Friends board. So, and I can give you the names if you want. Yash Savla and Shilpa Kulkarni are the 2 new members that have joined the board. About 4 or 5 at-large members are no longer on the board. And these were 2 positions, the program chair and the publicity chair had been done by the same person for many years. So they have stepped down and they will be mentoring the new officers.
Okay, great. All right, is there anything new with policies?
Nothing new?
Okay. And under miscellaneous, we have the strategic planning for 2025 through 2030. And we kind of referred to that a little bit earlier.
Yes. Oh, that was the town's strategic plan.
Oh, now we're talking about the library.
Now we're talking about the library's
Gotcha.
strategic plan.
Okay.
Yes. So I thought I would start working on that, reach out to, so first, I mean, our current strategic plan goes through 2024. So the next strategic plan would be 2025 to 2030. And I want to hire a consultant to help us with the drafting of the strategic plan. And so I thought I would start right away, reach out to prospective consultants and select one after vetting at least 3. The Massachusetts library system has a number of recommendations for strategic plan consultants. I've also reached out to other library directors and gotten some recommendations, so I'll reach out to those people. So then we'll get an estimate of their fee, and then I'll bring it back to all of you probably by next month or in March. And I think we would have to use state aid for the consultant's fee, for which I would need your approval. And then based on my conversation with the consultant, we'll have to create a timeline for a focus group of community members, staff, various committees and board members. And I'm not sure how long this process will take. And again, we might have to have Zoom meetings or when practical in-person meetings. So I'm hoping to get this whole process started now and get the final plan ready by June 2023. And then get the trustee approval and then send it to the MBLC. And that way we'll be ready for our action plan for fiscal year 2025, which, as you know, we get, I prepare it almost a year and a half in advance. So I thought I would start the process right away.
Priya, do you know if the, I believe there was a consultant last time, or was a community member as part of that? Do you know if
Yes.
people were happy? I can't remember who served as the consultants, but they seemed like they had a lot of experience.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Nancy Ray, I think her name was.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. If that's worth reaching out to them again. I don't know if it makes much difference to have continuity, if that's a good thing or good to shake it up, or. or what, but
Yeah,
it seemed
I'll-
like it went smoothly.
Yeah, I'll explore all possibilities. Yeah.
Do you have some preliminary thoughts as to what should be included in the strategic plan?
Definitely community input, I think, is very, very important. And I think it's just good to have a fresh look at, everything, the vision statement, mission statement, the goals and stuff. But community input is key, I believe. So last time we had done a survey that we had, sent out print survey, online survey, and we had a focus group of community members that we'd invited for brainstorming with the consultant. So that's an important component.
Okay. Anything else to be talked about tonight?
I don't think I have anything else.
Anybody else? All set? Okay, so our next meeting is February 22nd,
Yes.
and we'll see in what format it will be, whether it be Zoom or in person. Let's hope in person.
Yeah.
All right, does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Nancy,
Second, Claire.
Okay, so taking a roll call, all in favor? Yes, me, Deb LeBeau, Anne Marie,
Yes.
Lima,
Yes.
Claire,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
and Nancy.
yes.
Okay, so the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.